Let's look at a rigging setup for high stick Euro Nymphing. I always like to get some really good information about various things, including rigging, from the experts. So I talked to David DeBeaupre of Sierra Trout Magnet about rigging for high stick Euro Nymphing and Czech Nymphing.
So I'm going to show you a very simple way to rig up a long line technique or a Euro technique or a high sticking nymphing rig, whatever you want to call it, using some 3X two-tone indicator and some 4X tippet to start. And basically what we're going to do is, I prefer, it doesn't have to be any exact length, but around 1 to 2 feet of the actual line itself. This is a dual colored line. It's pink and then green and pink and green. When it gets in the sunlight, we can really see it, and we can really use these different colors to vary the depths of the hole we're fishing. So what I do is I'll take some 4X here, and instead of a surgeon's knot, I like to do the blood knot. So the tags I leave actually sticking out of each side, so it actually gives my clients a little more visibility of the knot, so I can tell them, drop it to the first knot, drop it to the third color up, drop it to the top knot. So this one would be the first knot, and if you tie a blood knot correctly, they stick straight out like this on each side. And I'll actually cut those back to maybe 1 inch, and I'll actually leave those on there, because that gives us a little more visibility above the water. So this part, of course, I don't have a fly rod with me, but this part, of course, will tie on onto your main leader, and then this is the part we're going to fish. And then from the first knot, you know, the average depth of the river right now is around 2 to 3 feet, so we'll go down about 2.5 feet or so. Cut that there. Now this is 4X, which is 6.5 pound. And we'll put on our first fly, which is this size 14 Paradon. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it has an oversized tungsten head. It has no hackle, so this dude sinks very quickly. This is gonna drop down for us, so that eliminates us having to put a bunch of weight up here. It makes it easier to cast, more contact with the fish, and a little more of a pleasure to fish, actually. Now, what I do a little different, because of various reasons, is I tie off the bend of the hook and not off the tags of the knots like a lot of traditional Czech and Euro nymphers will do. So right off the bend of the hook, the same knot I used to tie this on, I'm gonna tie on another little tag of tippet. And since the river's pretty low right now, we're gonna go about 10 to 12 inches is all. We don't want it that far away. So I'm gonna grab some 5X tippet, pull out about 15 inches so you have a little extra to tie with, and then right off the bend of the hook, I'm gonna string this through, go ahead and give it my 5 or 6 spins, come through there. And then we have a rig that's in line. And when I put this on my rod for transportation, I don't have these tags flopping everywhere, which can hook the angler. If you walk through brush, you're absolutely gonna lose your flies in the brush. So the inline method, I seem to have just as good a success as anybody that fishes them off the tags. I've also converted quite a few people from fishing the tags to the inline method. So here would be a perfect, we could take this out to the river right now, tie this on our fly rod, no indicator, and basically drag this through the water in those correct holes I was talking about and have some amazing success. And since they're tied in line like this without the tags of the knots, it's just much easier to store on your rod, much easier to walk through brush with, and it's a lot stronger when the fish gets on. So that's a very simple Euro nymph or high sticking Czech nymph rig, whatever you want to call it for the lower Owens. Sometimes if they want to fish an indicator, I'll just leave this on. I'll just put an indicator right here and then let them fish it. And then if we get to a spot that we don't have to reach out to the other bank with the indicator, we'll just take the indicator off. I'll put them right back on this, and we'll go right back to leading it right off the end of the rod. The advantage of this is there's absolutely no slack ever. So when you get a strike, you feel the strike, you don't witness it, you feel it, and it just allows you to respond much quicker. So people have a good success with Euro nymphing because there's absolutely no slack. This thing drops off the end of the rod, there's no loops. Whereas with an indicator, you fish a little further away from you, you might have to mend a little more, there might be a little slack, and then you actually see the indicator visually go down and have to physically respond to it. Whereas this, you feel the fish's bite, and the response is just a little quicker. So that's when we fish this versus fishing an indicator, basically. Not one is better than the other, but each one has their time and place.
That was David DeBeaupre. Their fly shop is the Sierra Trout Magnet. They're right there in Bishop. They have a lot of gear, things that you can pick up if you forgot something on the way to the Eastern Sierra, as well as their guides. So they guide on all sections of the Owens, Lake Crawley, East Walker, some of the other various streams and water in the area, as well as they'll take you combination with a pack station into the backcountry. Kind of cool stuff. So let us know if you want to be put in touch with them, and we'll get you in contact, and we'll see you right here next time on the Backcast.